Now, ladies and dudes, please don't argue with me for this one about which one of these two versions of Murder on the Oriental Express is the all-time best. Will it be the 2017 version that was made by Kenneth Branagh, or is it the 1974 version that featured Albert Finchley, if I got that dude's name right? Which version do I like the best? Well, I gotta tell you the truth right now. I gotta respect these films equally. It's hard for me to know which one is the best of the best. But I'll go ahead and tell you about this other version right now. Well, anyway, hi ladies and dudes. This is Rebecca Lynn Barkley, aka Boobop 1987. This is my review for today. And today, well, here we go, ladies and dudes. The moment, oh shoot. Forgive me, my little hair strap, it's messing up my eye just a little bit since my hair is growing back. Sorry about that. Alright. Take a deep breath and relax. Relax your mind. Alright, ladies and dudes. I made a promise to all of you that I will do this movie review that came from in another version that was based by a book. And yeah, some part of it was based by a true story. Something that'll bring to a tear to your eye. So yep, I'm gonna do my next movie review of Murder on the Oriental Express that came from in the 1974 version. And I guess everybody wants to know is what the heck do I think about this other version of the movie? I'll tell you that right now as I do that important movie review that everybody has been waiting for. And like I said, I treated both of these films equally because it's way too hard for me which one I like the best. That's for sure. So anyway, let's head on to the main plot of the story. We already know what the storyline is all about. It's a story about a French private detective dude named Hercule Poirot. He wants to go on a holiday on his own vacation in Istanbul and try to take a break on cases for a while so he can have a nice relaxing life in the land somewhere close to Turkey. And he got invited from a good friend of his. I don't know who this other dude is in the other version, since there's one dude who's young, but this one dude who's very, very, maybe somewhere around the same age as him. This dude had invited Hercule Poirot to be a part of the Oriental Express so he could have a nice, good train ride and try to get to know some other people and just have a good time with it. But not until one night in a harsh, cold winter, somebody got murdered on the train. And it's up to Hercule Poirot to find out who the heck did it. Who the heck killed this dude who died in the bed? And there's blood stained in his pajamas. Well, if you know that whole entire story of Murder on the Oriental Express, you'll know what I'm talking about. So that's the main plot about that amazing story that was based by a book. And everybody wants to know is, what the heck do I think about this movie? Well, to tell you the truth is, ladies and dudes, I did enjoy this movie. Like I said, both of them are very equally good in their own rights. So, I treat both of these films equally, even if it does have a few flaws. But I will admit, this version for more on the Oriental Express, I think I like this movie better than Death on the Nile. I think for one good reason, I think this movie had a much better cast than the one from Death on the Nile. I will say for Death on the Nile, it's a hit and miss feeling for me. There are some of the casts are enjoyable and some of the cast is very well mixed, but there's one character that's downhill for me. But I think for this cast on Murder on the Oriental Express, I just love this cast much better. I think these people are way more focused and they know what they're doing, and this is a very darn enjoyable movie to watch. I just love the cast all the way through from start to finish. I think they were very well focused in this movie. That's for sure. So anyway, let's head on to my strongest points and the weakest points of Murder on the Oriental Express, the 1974 version. I will say for the strongest point for this movie is truly the score. I frickin' love the score in this movie. Only two good scores I care about in this movie. One that featured the opening credits, and the other is the train scene. Whoever that composer is, that person did one heck of a good job. I mean, this score is absolutely mind-blowing. It just blew me away. I mean, it is powerful, it's epic, it's unique, it's very rare. I guess you could say this score is kind of underrated. I guess nobody never talks about this amazing score from a great classical film, if you ask me. So yep, I will say for the strongest point for this movie is the score. I just adore the score. Since you know me, I love movie scores very, very darn much. Hands down. And I will say for my weakest points in the movie, I just wish they should explain about that snow accident that came from in the middle part of the story, or somewhere around like in the 30-minute part of the story. We haven't seen the whole entire accident scene, since the 2017 version did explain about that snow accident in the 30-part minute of the film. But in this scene, they never explain about that accident in this version. I think we truly missed that part of the movie, and that's the most important part of the story, is how the heck they got involved in that accident. And they never explained that scene at all. I wonder what the heck happened to it. Is there a deleted scene that they cut it off, maybe? Since there was no deleted scenes back then from the old classic days. Well, in some classic movies here and there, we did see it later on, when time goes on. So I wish there was a scene about that accident that took place in the snow. You know, they can't do the choo-choo train for a while, if you know what I mean. So yeah, my weakest point of the movie is, where is the accident scene that took place in the snow? And now let's go on to the characters. To tell you the truth is, ladies and dudes, about these actors and actresses, there's a lot of them I do not know of. There's only 3 dudes I know. One is Albert Finchley, I hope I got that dude's name right, who played Hercule Poirot. I do know Michael York. I know him for a couple of films here and there, but not so much. And the other is the former James Bond dude of Sean Connery. Yes, he's featured in that movie, and I only know a little bit about him, even when he played James Bond. So yeah, those are the 3 actors I am familiar with. But as for the rest of them, I really do not know them that much. I think I'll go with one character I will talk about in this review, and I guess everybody's concern is, what do you think about this other version of Hercule Poirot or Monsieur Poirot, whichever name you prefer, but played by Albert Finchley? And to tell you the truth, this ladies and dudes, about that actor, I only know him in one film, and one film only. And he played the older Edward Bloom from Tim Burton's most underrated masterpiece film called Big Fish. And I love him in that performance. He played such a likable father, and I really liked the part where he told his son's wife some amazing stories about his previous life back in his youth. I just love that actor very much. And now, let me say something about him as Monsieur Poirot or Hercule Poirot, whichever name you prefer. I will admit, I really did enjoy his performance. I think he had a really, really fun time playing with this amazing character who's trying to solve the mystery. And yes, I know, he's one of these actors who doesn't have a French accent. Since that's the type of character I'm trying to look for, is who has a French accent. Since I did have a problem with that guy on Death on the Nile, the guy who's a British, he has a French accent. But as for this one, I will let him slide. For Albert Finchley. It's so hard to pronounce his name. I enjoyed his character very, very much. I was afraid I'm not going to like his character at all. But as time goes on, I really do like his portrayal of the character. I mean, this guy is having so much of a fun time. I saw it right in front of his face. He's just having a ball. He's just wild and crazy. He's freaking insane sometimes. And he knows how to play a character really, really well. I mean, he's just a mind-blowing actor. This guy just blew me away from start to finish. So yeah, he's having a good time playing with this character. I mean, he had a really good storyline, a great personality, great attitude. He knows how to solve the mystery very, very well. And he's just a whole ton of fun to watch. He is a very, very fun character. I will say, out of all those Hercule Poirot performances or roles, or the character I knew so far, I will say that Albert Finchley is the most funnest Hercule Poirot I have ever seen in movie history. I will say he's a whole lot of fun to watch. He is just wild and insane. What else I could say about this dude? That's for sure. So I think that's all I can say about this really cool guy. And as for everybody else, they fit their roles and their performances and their characters very, very well. They are very well spot on. That's for sure. So yeah, I do like the cast for this version. And I also love the cast from the 2017 version as well. They were all very well spot on, and they're very well performed. Well, Sally, for poor Mr. Green Goblin, his character is so underused. That's for sure. And now, ladies and dudes, let's head on to my final thought of Murder on the Oriental Express that came from in the 1974 version. Overall, this film is a very enjoyable one to watch, and I had a good time with it. It had a good storyline, has likable characters, great casting, has a nice cinematography, it had a really good score, and it's a very enjoyable movie to watch. And like I said, I'd rather treat these films equally without getting to know which one of them is better than the other. So, they're both equally good in their own right. And they shared a score of 8.5 out of 10. That's all I could say about that. And I gotta go. I gotta get to work. I gotta take care of myself, and I gotta do some serious things here and there that feature my life, if you know what I mean. And I'll be back for another movie review to come, hopefully in November and December. Cross my fingers on that. So, I'll see you all later, and sayonara!